Sir Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, born July 18, 1952, is a British billionaire, entrepreneur, and business magnate. 345 In the 1970s he founded the Virgin Group, which today controls more than 400 companies in various fields. 6 Branson expressed his desire to become an entrepreneur at a young age. His first business venture, at the age of 16, was a magazine called Student. In 1970, he set up a mail-order record business. He opened a chain of record stores, Virgin Records, later known as Virgin Megastores, in 1972. Branson's Virgin brand grew rapidly during the 1980s, as he started Virgin Atlantic Airline and expanded the Virgin Records music label. In 1997, Branson founded the Virgin Rail Group to bid for passenger rail franchises during the privatization of British Rail. The Virgin Trains brand operated the Intercity West Coast franchise from 1997 to 2019, the Intercity Cross Country franchise from 1997 to 2007, and the Intercity East Coast franchise from 2015 to 2018. In 2004, he founded Spaceflight Corporation Virgin Galactic, based at Mojave Air and Spaceport in California, noted for the Spaceship Two suborbital spaceplane designed for space tourism. In March 2000, Branson was knighted at Buckingham Palace for services to entrepreneurship. 7 For his work in retail, music and transport, with interests in land, air, sea and space travel, his taste for adventure and for his humanitarian work, he has become a prominent global figure. 8-9 In 2007, he was placed in the Time 100 Most Influential People in the World list. In July 2021, Forbes listed Branson's estimated net worth at US $5.7 billion. 10 On July 11, 2021, Branson traveled as a passenger on board Virgin Galactic Unity 22 at the edge of space, a suborbital test flight for his spaceflight company Virgin Galactic. 11-12 The mission lasted approximately 1 hour, reaching a peak altitude of 53.5 miles (86.1 kilometers). At 70, Branson became the 3rd oldest person to fly to space. 13
Branson was born in Ben Blackheath, London, to Eve Branson and Yvette Huntley Flint 1924-2021, a former ballet dancer and air hostess, and Edward James Branson 1918-2011, a barrister. 14-15 He has 2 younger sisters, Lindy Branson and Vanessa Branson. 16 His grandfather, Sir George Arthur Harwin Branson, was a judge of the High Court of Justice and a Privy Councillor. 17 His 3rd great-grandfather, John Edward Branson, left England for India in 1793. John Edward's father, Harry Wilkins Branson, later joined him in Madras. From 1793, 4 generations of his family were at Cuddalore, Tamil Nadu. On the show Finding Your Roots, Branson was shown to have 9 South Asian Indian DNA, likely through intermarriage. 15 Later, he stated that one of his great-great-great-grandmothers was an Indian named Daria. 18 Branson was educated at Scatecliff School, a prep school in Surrey, before briefly attending Cliffview House School in Sussex. 19 He attended Stowe School, an independent school in Buckinghamshire, until the age of 16. 19 Branson has dyslexia, and a poor academic performance on his last day at school. His headmaster, Robert Drayson, told him he would either end up in prison or become a millionaire. 2019 Branson has also talked openly about having ADHD. 21 Branson's parents were supportive of his endeavors from an early age. 22 His mother was an entrepreneur. One of her most successful ventures was building and selling wooden tissue boxes and waste paper bins. 23 In London, he started off squatting from 1967 to 1968. 24
Early business career. After failed attempts to grow and sell both Christmas trees and budgerigars, Branson launched a magazine named Student in 1966 with Nick Powell. The first issue of Student appeared in January 1968, and a year later, Branson's net worth was estimated at $50,000. The office for the venture was situated in the crypt of St. John's Church, off Bayswater Road, in London. 25 Though not initially as successful as he hoped, the magazine later became a vital component of the mail-order record business Branson started from the same church he used for Student. Branson used the magazine to advertise popular albums, driving his record sales. 26 He interviewed several prominent personalities of the late 1960s for the magazine, including Mick Jagger and R.D. Laing. 27 Branson took over full direction of Student after successfully bluffing to Powell that the workers at the magazine opposed Powell's plans to turn the magazine into a cooperative. 28-29 His business sold records for considerably less than the high street outlets, especially the chain W. H. Smith. Branson once said, "There is no point in starting your own business unless you do it out of a sense of frustration." 30 At the time, many products were sold under restrictive marketing agreements that limited discounting, despite efforts in the 1950s and 1960s to limit retail price maintenance. Note 1 Branson eventually started a record shop in Oxford Street in London. In 1971, he was questioned in connection with the selling of records declared export stock. The matter was never brought before a court because Branson agreed to repay any unpaid purchase tax of $33 and a $70,000 fine. His parents remortgaged the family home to help pay the settlement. 27 Home, Virgin 1972-1980, founding of Virgin Records in 1972, using money earned from his record store. Branson launched the record label Virgin Records with Nick Powell. The name Virgin was suggested by one of Branson's early employees because they were all new at business. 31 Branson bought a country estate north of Oxford in which he installed a residential recording studio, the Manor Studio. 32 He leased studio time to fledgling artists, including multi-instrumentalist Mike Oldfield, whose debut album Tubular Bells 1973 was the first release for Virgin Records and became a chart-topping bestseller. 33 Virgin signed controversial bands such as the Sex Pistols, which other companies were reluctant to sign. Virgin Records would go on to sign other artists including the Rolling Stones, Peter Gabriel, Ecstasy, Japan, UB40, Steve Winwood and Paula Abdul, and to become the world's largest independent record label. 34 It also won praise for exposing the public to such lesser-known avant-garde music as Faust and Can. Virgin Records also introduced Culture Club to the music world. Branson's net worth was estimated at $5 million by 1979, and a year later, Virgin Records went international. Citation needed 1981, 1987, Package Holiday Industries and Virgin Atlantic. Branson's first successful entry into the airline industry was during a trip to Puerto Rico. His flight was cancelled, so he decided to charter his own plane the rest of the way and offered a ride to the rest of the stranded passengers for a small fee to cover the cost. 35 In 1982, Virgin purchased the gay bar Heaven. In 1991, in a consortium with David Frost, Branson made an unsuccessful bid for 3 ITV franchises under the CPV-TV name. The early 1980s also saw his only attempt as a producer on the novelty record Ba, Black Sheep, by the Singin' Sheep in association with Doug McLean and Grace McDonald, on which he was credited as Jeff Mutton. The track consisted of samples of animal noises recorded at his Aunt Claire Hoare's farm in Norfolk, set to a drum machine-produced track and reached number 42 in the UK charts in 1982. 36 Branson formed Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Cargo in 1984. He formed Virgin Holidays in 1985. 1988-2000, Telecoms Ventures, Railways, and Worldwide Impact in 1992. To keep his airline company afloat, Branson sold the Virgin label to EMI for $500 million. 37 Branson said that he wept when the sale was completed because the record business had been the very start of the Virgin Empire. He created V2 Records in 1996 to re-enter the music business, owning 5 himself. 38 Virgin also acquired European short-haul airline Euro-Belgian Airlines and renamed it Virgin Express. In 1997, Branson took what many saw as being one of his riskier business exploits by entering into the railway business during the privatization of British Rail in the late 1990s. Virgin Rail Group won the Intercity Cross Country and Intercity West Coast franchises, beginning operations in January and March 1997 respectively. 39-40 Both franchises were scheduled to run for 15 years. 41-42 A series of disputes in the early 1990s caused tension between Virgin Atlantic and British Airways, which viewed Virgin as an emerging competitor. Virgin subsequently accused British Airways of poaching its passengers, hacking its computers, and leaking stories to the press that portrayed Virgin negatively. After the so-called campaign of dirty tricks, British Airways settled the case, giving $500,000 to Branson, a further $110,000 to his airline, and had to pay legal fees of up to $3 million. Branson distributed his compensation, the so-called BA bonus, among his staff. 43 Branson launched Virgin Mobile in 1999, and airline Virgin Blue in Australia in 2000. 44